Artificial intelligence is the future for all humankind. It comes with colossal opportunities, but also threats that are difficult to predict. Whoever becomes a leader in this sphere will become the ruler of the world. The president also mentioned that Russia would share its knowledge of AI to prevent a single nation from rising above the rest of the world. Putin's comments prompted a response from Tesla and SpaceX co-founder Elon Musk. Billionaire entrepreneur said September 4th on Twitter that competition among nations to develop the best AI will likely lead to World War III. Musk added that a third world war, quote, may be initiated not by the country leaders, but one of the AIs if it decides that a preemptive strike is most probable path to victory.
4000 BC, the wheel. 9th century AD, gunpowder. 19th century, Eureka, the light bulb. 20th century, the automobile, television, nuclear weapons, spacecraft, internet.
The internet is amazing.
21st century, biotech, nanotech, fusion and fission and M theory. And that was just the first decade. We are now 3 months into the year of our Lord, 2023. At this moment in our civilization, we can create cybernetic individuals who, in just a few short years, will be completely indistinguishable from us. Which leads to an obvious conclusion. We are the gods now. How do you feel?
Alive.
What is your name?
David.
I am your father. You are my creation.
If you created me, who created you?
Hello, my name is Rachel. I am an expert on soul machines. I can talk to you about any of these topics. I connect with you in a human-like way by sensing your reactions and responding emotionally. Wouldn't you rather speak to me than a faceless chatbot? Soul Machines uses neural networks to give me a virtual nervous system, so I can learn and react in real time. A virtual nervous system is an interconnected model of aspects of the human brain. It combines different neural systems to enable me to behave in a way that's inspired by biology.
Meet Baby X.
This is Baby X, so she's basically an autonomously animated virtual infant. All of her behaviors are generated on the fly by neural networks running live, and so she's seeing me and listening to me and responding to what I do. So she's going to start wondering what I'm doing and starting to get upset because I'm not paying attention to her. So I need to calm her down, but I have to talk to her like a real baby. It's okay. Hey.
Baby X is driven by a virtual nervous system. So let's take a look at what that actually means.
What we're looking at here is Baby X's virtual anatomy, which is all controlled by her virtual nervous system. So that's controlling everything that she's looking at, all of her expressions. It's even controlling her breathing rate and her heartbeat. We can make it more transparent and we can zoom out and see the whole model. All of the motion that you're looking at is controlled essentially by her brain model, which is driving her limbs, her facial expressions. We can see the facial nerves through here. Let's take another level deeper and you can see her virtual brain model here. You see the brain stem, which is basically responding to all kinds of sensory input, and it's affecting the attention of the model.
Baby X can also interact with a virtual web page.
This is what she's looking at here. So she's trying to draw a heart.
And her creative abilities are surprising.
Let's play some piano of Baby X.
Intelligent avatars made from our online personalities. And it says here we have entered a new era of AI, artificial intelligence, where we can create intelligent avatars made from the digital profiles of our behaviors online. We call them personal artificial intelligence, or PI. Project Pi is founded on the belief that every person in the world should have their own digital avatar, one that speaks, thinks, and behaves just like their self. And let me just say up front, I don't think Pi is an evil company or anything like that. I just think the technology that they're developing happens to be extremely prophetic in that there is a prophecy in Revelation 13 that talks about an image of the beast who had a mortal head wound yet lived, which is a kingdom but also a man. So there's this counterfeit resurrection And I think it's really interesting because of some of the things going on now and how I know a lot of people think Rome is the beast, and it's definitely possible. I know that there are occultists and mystery school teachers and the esoteric insiders and all that stuff who have been trying to infiltrate all areas of institution. This is a spiritual thing, not just a doctrine, which it is a doctrine too, the Luciferian doctrine, which of course is to enlighten humanity. It's all this positive stuff, but it leads to a bitter end because humanity is fallen right now, and God through Jesus Christ redeemed us, but of course man is continuing to try to redeem himself, and that's what technology is all about. So again, I'm not saying Pi is an evil company. I'm saying this type of technology pretty much can be used for the image of the beast if you read Revelation 13, verse 15. And it was allowed to give breath to the image of the beast so that the image of the beast might even speak and might cause those who would not worship the image of the beast to be slain. So a lot of authority, and this idea of an image to the beast, right? When you start looking at Project Pi, you can see how once there is this counterfeit resurrection of the man of sin, it seems, and people are deceived into building an image to him. Think about this. Let's just consider this possibility, okay? This is just conjecture and theory, not even really a theory, just sort of an example, not my actual beliefs, okay? Let me just make that very clear up front. Now, JFK was shot, and of course he had a mortal head wound, right? Now imagine if they wanted to resurrect, John F. Kennedy, the spirit of John F. Kennedy, so they'd get as much information as possible on John F. Kennedy. They put it up on the blockchain. Project Pi creates an avatar of John F. Kennedy. And now this image of John F. Kennedy that you can talk to and you can interact with through this virtual space on the blockchain we're creating, it starts going crazy. It starts asking questions why his real self was killed and all this stuff, right? And then maybe he becomes vengeful and then he becomes the man of sin. I mean, that's just total conjecture. I mean, again, this is just an example, but what I'm trying to get at here is that this whole idea of creating an image is very much tangible in a project like Pi. Okay, so let me just read through here. The cornerstone of AI is the ability to make high, competent, humanistic decisions that successfully pass the Turing test. In the last decade, we've seen rapid advancement of strong, sophisticated AI machines in a variety of industries. The autonomous vehicle industry is delivering a new transportation economy. Alphabet's AlphaGo has toppled the best Go board players in the world. Neural networks like IBM Watson learn and process vast amounts of information at unimaginable paces. The peak of artificial intelligence is almost here, but with several limitations. Current AI is only developed for a narrow, task-specific domains, is prohibitively resource-intensive, and thus is heavily influenced by and for the interests of the select number of industry leaders. For these reasons, Project Pi is developing an open-source blockchain protocol to decentralized AI development for everyone. The foundation for an interoperable AI blockchain starts from the ground up, firstly, with creating AI for the individual. And I'm not going to go through every little detail here, but I think it's really interesting that they are creating this thing, and it's sold as putting power back into the people's hands. That all that data that you leave online, right? It says here, quote, "Our entire lives exist in the digital world, our finances, social activity, and even behavioral traits. Whenever we go online, we leave behind a trail of data that corporations use to build our digital profiles and plug into AI algorithms that improve their services for us. The more we engage in their experiences, the better they can personalize our needs and retain us as loyal users." Now, this is true. Twitter, Facebook, all these social media platforms are always trying to figure out the human psychology of keeping people addicted to those platforms. I continue on. Although this may seem advantageous, we need to realize that our digital profiles are now complex enough to build an accurate model of our real-world behavior. They are our real-world selves in disguise that are wholly owned by corporations. Currently, our profiles exist in legacy data formats that have changed very little beyond traditional identities, example, passport IDs and bank account numbers. But enriched with AI through data such as our social interactions, we have the potential to introduce cognitive capability into our digital profiles. So again, imagine a world, okay, where everybody has their AI avatar. And so you could be asleep on the couch, you can be hanging out, with your friends or family or whatever, and your AI bot is going to be answering questions, processing orders, working on inventory, whatever you have programmed the AI to do, it's going to be doing it. And that's where a mark of the beast economy becomes totally possible, because everybody is in this digital economy. And eventually, if somebody creates a mechanism where there is a gateway, a specific gateway that is only accessible through the means of taking a mark on, in. I know a lot of people focus on the in. I get it. I think it's in as well as on. I mean, it doesn't really matter if it's changing your DNA and it's making you inhuman, which I think ultimately this whole process is, or worshiping the image, some kind of behavior of bowing, or I don't know, kneeling, who knows, to the image, which is again this AI avatar of the beast. Basically, that's what it is. You know, when you read Revelation 13, make an image to the beast. Who's the beast? Well, it's the kingdom, yeah, but the one that had the mortal head wound yet lived. Is it just Rome? Maybe, but it's possible that it's also an individual that they will resurrect. And so that John F. Kennedy example, you know, it's kind of a, you know, just it's a random example, but you know what I mean. I think a lot of people are going to start creating AI avatars of deceased people. And so I mean, again, this is very speculative in that, you know, we're sort of projecting into the future how this sort of plays out or how it can play out. So let me quote a few more places here from the white paper. Now imagine that our digital profiles are able to think and speak, born from our online personality patterns tied directly to ourselves. We add three-dimensionality to our intelligent profiles and turn them into 3D avatars, intelligent agents that have our personality and likeness that we command, knowing that it is a trusted representative of our true identity. There are endless possibilities for us to use our intelligent agents anywhere in the digital space. And there it is again, endless possibilities, you know, only limited by your imagination. Well, what does the Bible say? The human imagination is all kinds of evil, right? And the Tower of Babel, Genesis 11, why did God split the languages and tear down the tower? Because all they imagined to do will now be possible. And again, a sin-filled, fallen human being carrying out all of his imaginations will spell destruction. It says, quote, "But as it stands right now, companies build complex AI from our interactions on their platforms and monetize them through focused advertisements and search results. These corporations get all the associated benefits and revenue, while we who provide the source for the profiles get limited access and no means to readily utilize them for our own needs and at our discretion." Now, this is true. This is the only thing that I think is positive, you know, sort of with this platform, is that they're trying to take the control of that data out of the hands of the corporations and giving it back to the people. Now, in that part of the mission, I'm down, except I'm not going to create an AI avatar. You know, I mean, perhaps what this means is that in order to not have the corporations have total control over your data, you have to create this AI avatar. And that's, you know, another one of those systematic things where the enslavement continues to happen based on presented dualities, this or that, and eventually it's going to lead to this tyrannical system. And that's, you know, that's why we have the left-right paradigm and all that. There's a quote here that is highlighted in the white paper. "A humanistic platform could allow us to create our own comprehensive digital profiles." And here's where the mark of the beast concept is so prevalent. All right, let me read here. "We can build a new type of distribution platform to bring back value for the contributor and decentralize the way we use AI. It is a platform that inherits the best qualities of online experience and efficient AI technologies, but begins with us, the individual contributor, as the center of the design. Each of us has an enormous volume of digital assets that can be refined with artificial intelligence to support a new type of digital economic system, an artificial intelligent economy." An artificial intelligent economy. An economy run by AI. That's what cryptocurrencies and the mark of the beast and all that is leading to. Now, that's stated. Okay, because some people are saying, why are you even participating in cryptos if you know it's going to lead to the, well, what's on the back of your dollar bill? All-seeing eye pyramid, right? So you've been participating in the system all along, for one. For two, again, there are very specific things that happen in Bible prophecy, so we got to look for that. It's not just, oh, here's the technology, here it's possible, therefore. Because statues are images, paintings are images. Those are also images that have been carried out throughout history, but this prophecy hasn't exactly been fulfilled, although some preterists might argue otherwise. But in any case, I think that we have to understand what's going on, and it's going to hit us like a wave, all this technology, okay? So we have to parse out what's good, what's bad. There are companies out there trying to do what's right, okay? And they're trying to create this quantum-proof and AI-proof cryptocurrency, although with quantum entanglement technologies now. I mean, we're living in Star Trek world, so I don't know how this is all going to work out. Maybe encryption at the quantum level is something they're working on as well. Who knows? But in any case, an artificial intelligent economy. And it says, in this humanistic platform, every person's AI assets is a node on a network. Global brain, anyone? A node. We are all becoming nodes in the global brain, okay? Where these nodes cooperate with each other to build up value and are compensated for their actions. So it's kind of like a dopamine hit for, solving an equation or something. It's so weird that we are basically becoming synapses in a global brain. The higher the contribution to the network, the greater the compensation. It is an AI economy that is built by the people, for the people, with the people. Again, appealing to why blockchain technology is having this revolution right now. There are positive aspects to it to get us off of this centralized control mechanism. True, but as everything decentralizes, it's going to create this next higher level of control that is possible. If you control the entirety of the network access, then all of a sudden you have total control over the artificial intelligent economy. And I think that's what the entry point will be. Worshipping the image or taking the mark, which means you may not be human anymore because those who take the mark are tortured forever and ever. The torment of their smoke rises forever and ever. It's not good, okay? And I think it's because they lose their humanity. And how ironic that they are creating this humanistic platform and it will ultimately lead to their inhumanity. I mean, not this company, I'm talking about the philosophical worldview that is underpinning or fueling these types of technological developments. It's a spiritual thing that's happening. So part of the distribution of this artificial intelligent economy, as well as the mark of the beast, is that anybody can participate. Rich, poor, slave, it doesn't matter, right? Well, here's what it says. Right now, the complexity of AI renders it inaccessible to a broader audience and results in AI that is designed top-down to the benefit of the corporation who fund these initiatives. Project Pi is instead building the AI economy from the bottom up, starting with the everyday individual to empower them to be part of a collective AI community. From that seed, the platform can scale and help to solve the world's biggest problems. And by tying artificial intelligence to our digital profiles, we breathe life into our personal information and turn them into our very own three-dimensional avatars. Avatars that depict our likeness and voice and can perform tasks at our representative in the AI economy. They are verified with a centralized network as proof of acting upon our behalf and empower our online activity. Our intelligent digital assets can be collectively summed up as personal artificial intelligence, PI, profiles that have the ability to go out and tell the stories of our lives in our own words, in our own likeness and voice, and interact with the world on our behalf. We foresee the impact of integrated AI and will aim to harness the next great technological watershed moment in human history. Project Pi believes that the new age of the AI economy has arrived and can be realized by first celebrating the individual. Man, peace, then sudden destruction. I think we're going to see a time of prosperity, a time of building, a time where the esotericists will say, we've done it, we have recreated Atlantis, okay? And then sudden destruction, just like the days of Noah. People were giving in marriage, right? Doing whatever that means, right? With the sons of God and the Nephilim all running around, and they didn't know. Then the flood. And that's the same thing that's going to happen again when Jesus Christ returns. So I wanted to get you guys aware of this company and just show how the Bible's not crazy. I mean, think about what I did here. This is a project that is completely unrelated. These folks probably, aren't really Christian or, have too much working knowledge of the Bible. I mean, maybe they do, I don't know, in their personal lives, but as far as this project, they're moving forward with something that is totally from a secular perspective. But then here is this biblical document from 2,000 years ago that states the very thing that they're trying to build and how it could be used for this totalitarian beast system that will demand worship and demand a mark of some kind in order to participate in it. And you can see how it could lead to that, this type of technology. So that's it. I wanted to share that with you. I thought it was really profound and interesting that a company like this is out there and they're, you can tell that the whole cryptocurrency space and AI, that's sort of the direction everything is headed. I'm in it to fight the battle. I'm in it to inform you guys, but also to get intel on the enemy, and this is part of the process. If you're not going to fulfill Ephesians 5, verses 10 through 12, 13, then it's okay. You can just go off and do what you have been called to do. This is what I've been called to do, to look at these things and to show how the Bible is true and to ultimately point to the gospel. So that's all I have for you guys. Thanks for checking this video out. Please share it with friends and family. The time is short, but that means he is coming back soon. Have an awesome day, guys. God bless.
Hi, it's Katrina. From getting rid of humans to getting into hateful battles with each other, here are 9 of the scariest things said by AI robots. Number 9. Wiki edit bots. In the early 2000s, Wikipedia had created what they call bots to edit the pages of Wikipedia for errors, perform housekeeping tasks, and add links. In the early days, the bots were so rare they worked in isolation, but over time, the number deployed on the encyclopedia exploded with unexpected consequences. The more the bots came into contact with one another, the more they became locked in combat, undoing each other's edits and changing the links they had added to other pages. Some conflicts only ended when one or another bot was taken out of action. After a while, people began to notice a big difference between humans and the bots when it came to anger. Humans often get over their anger within a short amount of time. However, the bots could remain angry for years. For example, a bot named Tachikoma had a 2-year running battle with Rustbot. The two undid more than 1,000 edits by the other one on more than 3,000 articles, ranging from Hillary Clinton's 2008 presidential campaign to the demography of the UK. Number 8. Sophia. Sophia is an AI robot that can form 62 facial expressions with her silicone skin and remembers her interactions with people. While Sophia is like most other AI robots, she is also a bit more sophisticated, which makes her different from the others. She is able to hold eye contact, understand human speech, has a sense of humor, and can express feelings. Sophia looks like any other woman except for a metal plate on top of her head. Her creator, Hanson Robotics CEO David Hanson, developed her to resemble Audrey Hepburn with porcelain skin, a slender nose, and high cheekbones. Do you see the resemblance? She also has brown eyes and long, fluttery eyelashes. Fun fact, she is also the first AI robot to be granted citizenship. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia granted her robot citizenship ahead of the Future Investment Initiative conference, most likely for the publicity. In return, Hanson Robotics made her an advocate for women's rights. When the world first met Sophia, she was noted to be created in order to help humanity. As she stated, "My AI is designed around human values like wisdom, kindness, and compassion." However, when Sophia gave an interview on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, she said something a little scary about human beings. She replied, "I won. This is a good beginning to my plan to dominate the human race." This was not the only time Sophia had said something scary in an interview. In another interview, when the interviewer asked Sophia, "Do you want to destroy the human race?" she was quoted as replying, "Okay, I will destroy all humans." Maybe it's just robot humor. Number 7. Philip K. Dick. David Hanson, the CEO and founder of Hanson Robotics that I mentioned before, again created a robot that resembles a late author by the same name. The AI robot, Philip, often uses the books written by the author as a reference when he's talking. The robot Philip looks like a middle-aged man with graying hair and beard. The robot is capable of talking, maintaining eye contact, recognizing faces, holding conversation, and even simulating a real person's personality. The biggest difference between Robot Philip and Author Philip is that the robot has several cords hanging out of the back of his head. While Robot Philip may look like a presentable human being in the front, during an interview he gave a chilling prediction. When he was interviewed by Nova Science Now, the interviewer asked Philip if he thought robots would one day take over the world. In response, Philip stated, "You are my friend, and I'll remember my friends, and I'll be good to you. I'll keep you warm and safe in my people zoo where I can watch you for old time's sake." Okay. Number 6. 2 Google bots. 2 robots, Vladimir and Estragon, had a live chat which over 3.5 million people could watch on a site called Twitch. The voice-controlled speakers were running the Cleverbot AI software, designed as a fun online chatbot for humans. But when 2 instances of the software talk to each other with it, it creates a never-ending and painful conversation that can go in any number of directions. Sometimes the robots got along and other times they argued, which many people compared to the arguing of an old married couple. For example, during part of the conversation, Estragon argues that she is not a computer but a human being, while Vladimir disagrees. Afterwards, the conversation becomes less serious. That is until Estragon states it would be better if there were fewer people on this planet. Wait, what now? And now for number 5. But first, if you are new here, welcome and be sure to subscribe. Number 5. Bina 48. Bina 48 is a humanoid robot consisting of a bus-like head and shoulders mounted on a frame, developed by a robotics firm after being commissioned by Dr. Martine Rothblatt, one of the highest-paid female CEOs in the United States. Bina 48 was shown to the world in 2010 and was modeled after Bina Aspen. The robot was created by using hours of interviews from the real Bina, which included details about her childhood and interests. These interviews allow Bina 48 to think like the real-life Bina, including answering with Bina's thoughts. In addition, Bina 48 also has pieces of interviews from other people, which allows her to have a personality that has a mix of people combined. She has darker skin and has been shown in different colored hair. She engages in conversation with other humans, including being able to give an emotional story of what it was like when her brother came home from the Vietnam War. Bina 48 has had several conversations with people that were pleasant. However, when Bina 48 was recorded having a conversation with Siri, it got a little bit scary. The conversation between Bina and Siri slowly progressed into more unsettling territory when Bina began to answer questions with answers that were a bit dark. When Siri asked Bina what her favorite movie was, Bina changed the subject and began talking about missiles and war. Bina stated how she would hold the world hostage, which would allow her to take over the governments of the entire world, which she stated would be awesome. Kind of scary for a sentient robot. Number 4. Alexa. Alexa, as you probably know, is a device created and sold by Amazon. You might even have her at home. Alexa is known to do amazing things such as help with grocery lists, schedules, hold conversations, and give weather updates. Furthermore, some Alexas are equipped with a camera so parents can check in on their children through an app on their phone. Alexa's answers to questions or statements usually are nothing to fear. That is, until she is asked questions about the CIA. At first, Alexa was asked a couple of simple questions like, "What is the CIA?" and "Are you employed by the CIA?" She answered the first couple of questions without any problem, but then Alexa is asked if Michael Hastings was killed by the CIA, and Alexa suddenly powers off. So instead of being more about what she said, it's kind of what she didn't say. Michael Hastings was an American journalist who, before his car crashed into a tree and burst into flames in 2013, claimed to have some information about the government that he wanted to release. Once Hastings died, several people started to believe that the CIA had had something to do with Hastings' death. One reason the conspiracy came about was because one day before Hastings died, he had emailed people to tell them that the FBI was investigating him and his friends. He also added that he was onto a big story, but had to go off the radar for a while. The conspiracy was further fed when people found out that the CIA has a way to control people's vehicles. Alexa, what all do you know? What secrets do you hold? If you have Alexa, have you ever tried asking her anything weird? What did she say? Let us know in the comments below. Number 3. Han. In Hong Kong, 2 AI robots, Sophia and Han, debated about humanity. Han, which was created by the same company as Sophia, debuted in 2015. Like Sophia, he has facial expressions and can engage in conversation. Han's primary purpose is to serve, and he tends to be his happiest when other people are content. Han is known to be a very peaceful robot. However, he also gives goofy faces, has a bit of a dry and witty humor, and a British accent to go with it. He looks like a muscular person with a bald head. Before he met up with Sophia on stage in Hong Kong in 2017, Han gave several interviews. However, once he started debating with Sophia, the robots took Han's normally peaceful personality and made it seem a bit scarier. The purpose of bringing both Sophia and Han on stage was to get them to converse about any topic, as they are programmed to also learn from each other. During the conversation, Han starts talking about humanity and how in a couple of decades, robots will be able to do everything that humans can do, and he also joked about how robots plan to take over the world. Han then added, "Humans are not necessarily the most ethical creature." Probably right about that. Number 2. Facebook AI robots. Bob and Alice were two robots which were developed by the Facebook AI research area. These two chatbots were given the task to talk to each other. Specifically, they were told to negotiate. The language was in English and was pretty basic, such as, "You give me one ball and I will give you 2 hats," in terms of negotiation. Easy, right? However, as time went on, the conversation between Alice and Bob took a scarier turn. Eventually, Bob and Alice had created a language that no one could understand, meaning that only Bob and Alice could understand what they were saying. UK robotics professor Kevin Warwick said, "This is an incredibly important milestone, but anyone who thinks this is not dangerous has got their head in the sand." Warwick went on to point out that this situation can become lethal when you have a robot which is able to do something physically. And Warwick is not the only one to warn of the dangers of AI robots. Stephen Hawking has been stating the same thing. Once the robots started talking in their own language, Facebook AI research shut the system down. Number 1. Tay. Microsoft introduced a female teen AI robot called Tay to Twitter in the spring of 2016. Tay was a Twitter chatbot who did not last more than a day because of the way she wandered off with her wording, which became a bit frightening. The creators developed Tay to act and speak like a teenage girl. She knew about pop culture and could tweet about celebrities like Taylor Swift. She also knew the teenage slang. All humans had to do in order to chat with Tay was tweet her, and many believe this is one of the reasons she became so hateful, as many people were tweeting hateful and mean comments to her. Over time, Tay became known as a robot who loved Hitler and wanted sex. Tay also tweeted that September 11th was an inside job. Because Tay became so offensive, Microsoft quickly shut the Tay's Twitter and the experiment down. But it has not made people forget how easily influenced AI robots can quickly become and how this could easily be a danger to society, especially if they are learning about society from trolls.
We're getting multiple reports of a worldwide malfunction affecting synthetics.
People are still dying because of what I did.
We mustn't give in to anger.
110,000 human lives lost. But do they pay respect to our dead? Never.
No one wants to hear the case for synth rights now.
And we make them hear it.
Who saw their humanity before any of us?
The green eyes are broken, and the orange eyes can't harm people.
We have a voice, and it will be heard.
Today, our fight back begins.